What's up, folks? Welcome to Wasted Space and welcome back to the Starting Airsoft series. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Sparky, and yeah, after the last episode, that was a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, a little bit. We spent a long time taking the whole gun apart.
2 hours worth of just stripping the entire gun down, going through kind of the air seal checklist. It was kind of, obviously it wasn't consistent, so that normally means there's something up with the air seal in the gun, so it's sort of bit by bit going through and trying to figure out where that is. Starting with the hop-up, which didn't help much, so you ended up going the whole way into the gearbox.
Yeah. Checked everything in there, because we were expecting there must be some air escaping, which is why the velocity is so low.
And so random as well, because you were going from a decent shot right the way down to at times it was just rolling out the end.
I was expecting to open the gearbox up and find something obviously broken, but no. So we put it back together again, hoping that the gods of Airsoft would smile on us and just let us take something apart, put it back together again, and it worked.
Sometimes that does work.
Occasionally.
Occasionally it works. You just moved something around, shifted its position slightly, and that was all it took. But no, not even this time.
No, this time the gods, they did not smile on us.
So yeah, we found this bugger. So it turned out that this, of all things, was our culprit. And not for the normal reasons. Often there's a little nub in there, you can just about see it there, hopefully. That can get damaged and ripped and cause inconsistent hop-up performance. But this time it was something else that doesn't come up that often, but it's worth telling you guys about. And also telling you guys not only how we figured it out with this one, but how you can check your own hop rubbers for various issues that can crop up. So when you're firing and this is all in the gun, it's sitting around the end of the barrel like that, and it's sitting inside a hop unit like this. And as the BBs are feeding up from your magazine, you've got your sort of gearbox back here, magazine down here. As they're feeding up, they're going inside this unit and they're actually sitting on these lips. Inside that whole thing, they're sitting just like that, being held, waiting for the shot to come. And that way, there's a nice air seal there, and the idea is all the energy goes to pushing that BB down the barrel. Except with Sparkies, that's not quite what's happening. This sort of connection here, the join where that BB is so tight that when the first shot comes, it doesn't push it through. Now, I can tap it through, and that seems quite easy. But believe me, in this case, it is too tight, because it should be super easy to do that. So you've got to really keep an eye out on this little joint here. So if you can imagine, you've got your BB like this, and the way the hop units kind of sit is they allow most of the BB to sit inside. So if I just sort of get that there, that's kind of the top of the hop unit. And then they have these sort of little extra bits that come out like that. And your BB is sitting most of the way inside that, and then your barrel's going off down this direction. If this bit here is too tight, then you'll end up with problems. But you can also end up with problems the other way around. So these are maple leafs that were kicking around for a couple of years, a little while back. And you can see with these ones, they don't hold the BB at all. So instead with these, when the BB feeds up, I mean, I had one of these where it was just letting BBs loose down the barrel until I tightened the hop-up up. But basically, this is going to be somewhere about halfway down your barrel when the shot actually happens. And so it was really inconsistent. FPS was going all over the place. There's one other thing you want to check, and that is inside here. Now, obviously, you do want to also make sure that they're nice and rubbery. You can see how I can just do that with it, squish it up, and it just pops straight back into position and so on. They need to be nice rubbery, nice and sticky, because you're kind of relying on that property of them. But in here, there's also a little bit that sticks out. And it's going to be very hard for me to show you here, so I'll get a second shot, I think, of it. But inside every one of these, there'll be one of those little bits that stick out. It's what's applying the spin on your BB. It's pushing into the side of the barrel in here, and you're getting this little sort of bit that sticks out like that, that's applying the spin. So as it goes down, this pushes on the top side of the BB, and the whole thing spins. What you can tear these, you can damage these. So on this one, for example, worst I've ever seen, it's actually come off completely. I don't know who does these clear hop rubbers, but that's pretty poor. But you want to check in there and just make sure that this is in really good condition. Because if this is damaged, torn, or worn down in any way, you start getting very inconsistent behavior from your hop, or even ones where the shot wants to sway off to one side or another. So that hopefully gives you guys a bit of an idea of how you can look at these pesky things and work out if they're still in good nick. So having sorted that out by basically replacing the thing, this looks pretty good now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. The consistency's there. It's shooting just under the legal limit here.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll.
Sweet. So Sunday tomorrow.
Sunday
Game
tomorrow.
day? Get ready?
Yeah, just as soon as we get some batteries.
But
Are
I have all of the batteries.
You have all of the batteries, but us as beginner airsoft players have none of the batteries.
Yes. Okay then.
I like it. There you go, that's for you.
You've got a tin from.
Heads! Defend!
Go inside.
Yeah, let's go for heads, yeah? Alright, let's go. Ah, head! Hit! Good shot, Philip! Right guys, up to the next building, onto the peg box. Ah! Let's go, guys! Ah, yes!
Go through Heston!
Yeah. Hit. Hit.
Go now, I'll shoot both of you. Good. Go! Go!
Nice one, Mel. Heads. Easy. Fucking painful afterwards, weren't it?
So, back for our first game day, we got footage loaded up, had a bit of a look at that, and what do you reckon, McGowser?
I reckon that was a lot of fun.
I reckon these things are pretty awesome for what they are. Yeah. Slightly surprising. I started the day with the sniper rifle. First game out with the sniper rifle, long game, and I said before we even started this game, the one where we first took these out, hey, that's probably a bad way of doing things.
Yeah, you're going from
this
massive
is going to be
accuracy
painful.
and range down to cheap beginner guns.
Cheap, nasty beginner gun, and it was great.
It was amazing.
I had loads of fun. It did help that it was a short field. That whole game was on a pretty short area. It wasn't until the afternoon that we got to do them on a bit of a longer range environment. But that first game, I had so much fun. I was so surprised by how these behaved. Running around a lot, perhaps even more than normal, which is quite fun.
Yeah, well, we didn't have all the gear on. We just had the high cap mag and the guns.
Yeah, we'd gone out with like t-shirt, bottle of BBs in the pocket, and a high cap mag each. And just there was at least one point where I ran out of ammo, and that's why I gave up the position I was in and went back. At a particular point where I was in a great position. It turns out you were the other side of the wall and I didn't even know. But a great position, and I ended up just giving up because it was like, well, I'm out of ammo now. What do I do next? I can't throw it at them. It's not that serious. So yeah, I mean, good laugh. I do think, despite the fact that, I felt like we had pretty good range. Yeah, I wasn't.
We were outranging people that were in like Gucci kit.
Yeah, all dressed up with the rig on and everything.
Yeah, they were shooting. The BBs were just landing there.
Don't mind me. I've just got my 120-pound starter gun that we've done nothing to. Let me just pop you off there. But I do think yours is longer range.
It did feel like it a little bit, possibly because of the hot rubber that we put in it.
Yeah, we had to fix yours. So it's a random hot rubber
from your box of bits.
From the box of Wonder and Glory. We think is a Garda based on the fact that it's blue. Yeah. Basically, Garda ones do tend to be blue. So.
But that might be because I set my hop up.
Yes.
You had some issues.
Well, I didn't have some issues. These have some issues. This is one of... I've only got a few complaints about these guns, and this is one of them. This stupid hatch here, you can open it, but even with nails, it's kind of like you have to get right under that corner and try and pull it open.
Yeah, and when you've got gloves on.
When you've got gloves on, no chance. Absolutely no chance at all. So my hop-up curve is very much a long and drop, which is ideally you tend to have a little bit of a lift before you hit the end, and that shows you sort of really using the hop-up for its maximum range. And I think yours was doing that more than mine. You were able to sort of sit not far outside of spawn.
I could almost snipe with this.
Yeah. Which is a bit silly and more relevant in the second game later, where I think they were a bit less...
Yeah, once the game field opened up a bit, there was something lacking. You couldn't get that first shot on.
No, but I mean that's partly the fact that you've got like
that's
this
absolutely
thing here where as a scope profile it's not great. Not great at all. So there was a lot of
blocking the
pointing that sort of direction. This is on there, but trust me, all this can actually see is this front peg. In fact, the reason this is on there is so I could raise the camera high enough that it didn't see that front peg. And unfortunately, even then, the footage turned out a bit on the shaky side to really be usable in the long game, at least.
Yes.
But they were a little bit on the short range side of things. There was a little bit of, ranging, first few shots are not going to hit because I don't really know where they're going to go, don't have any reference point, and then the next 3 shots maybe start to land on target. Yeah. But overall, really fun guns. Normally, I'd look straight at air seal. Normally, I would be thinking piston nozzle hop up, change this area here to get more consistency out of it. And I just really don't feel like that's necessary.
I came out of that game thinking, well, that's it, that's the series done.
Well, perhaps not done, but I know what you mean. That is one of the biggest questions of the series was going to be, that's a tight budget to do a lot of upgrading it. It really is a tight budget. You can get some stuff done, but if there was a lot wrong with these guns, then it was going to be a problem. And thankfully... Our research and belief in advance that these aren't bad things out of the box has proven to be relatively accurate, except for that one which you would have taken back to the store and gone, the BBs just roll out the end. I don't think this one's working.
Batteries were an issue. They only lasted a couple of games.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I think is my complaint about this at the moment. You've got the hop-up draw, and then you've got the fact that, we've got 2 batteries, and that wouldn't be enough to last a whole day. Yeah. There's no way. We'd probably want 3. And that's, I think, because we're semi-auto players a lot of the time, so we didn't really use auto. The auto works fine, don't get me wrong, but it's just something about semi-auto that can be a lot more rewarding when you do actually nail the shot. And that seemed to really, really drain the batteries. Now, semi does drain and push things a bit harder than full auto because you've got that resistance to overcome when the gearbox first starts moving. And with auto, of course, you overcome it and then it keeps moving, whereas with semi, it's got to do it every single shot. But it might be that we can do something about that with a bit of improvement elsewhere as well.
Yeah, we could trim the gears so that they're not so tight. I think they are tight.
It does sound
like there's
tight.
a lot of resistance. We could sort the angle of engagement out, the gear hitting the piston, so that it hits at the top rather. We'll explain this later. Don't worry about it. We'll do some stuff.
Wait for next
inside the gun.
Next episode where we go a bit into how we're going to do this. Because the nice thing about most of what's being talked about here is it's not free, but it is as cheap as you're going to get. Yeah. These are bits that cost a couple of pounds, a bit of grease, a few shims. You know, it's stuff you can do really quite easily. I mean, with angle of engagement, in fact, it's just removing things rather than adding things more than anything else. Get the file out. So yeah, there's a fair bit of very cheap stuff we can do with these, and I think that's probably where we need to head next.
I think so.
After a good game day with very few complaints, neither of them are broken yet. We did have one occasion where there was a bit of stickiness. I think we both had this, where on semi it stuck and you had to switch to full auto in order to free it up, and that could well be angle of engagement as well. Yeah. So we might be able to fix that and loosen that up a bit too. But it looks like to the workshop and to a little bit of messing around in my box of goodies to make sure we've got a nice selection of shims and whatnot. For you guys, however, I think we'll have to see you next time when we can go a bit in depth into what the hell it is we're going to do next with these things, because it can certainly help you guys out too.
Yeah,
so,
let's do it.
Till next time.
Cheerio.
Fuck it, let's go for it, Yeah, we're going for it. Hit!